PHP 8 has finally arrived. In this video, I will show you how to install PHP 8 on your Windows 10 machine using Apache as a web server. First, download the necessary files. Visit the official PHP website. Click on the Windows Downloads link. Download the ThreadSafe 32 or 64-bit version depending on your Windows type. To check Windows type, open the About dialog and find the System Type entry. Now prepare PHP location. I like the programs to be in the Program Files folder. And I already know that, over time, you will install several different versions of PHP. Therefore, I create a main folder for all PHP versions. For the sake of ease of use, I make some sacrifices in the security of my development machine. I give local users full permission to the PHP directory on my machine. Once you have created the directory, copy the contents of the downloaded zip file. The downloaded package contains two example configuration files. Make a copy of the developer version and call it simply php.ini. It's time to check if PHP works. Open a command window from the PHP directory and type php-v. PHP 8 was compiled with Visual Studio 2019. Thus, if the appropriate redistributable is not installed on your machine, you will get the following error. To solve this problem, you need to install the appropriate Microsoft redistributable package. You can download from the PHP download page. If all went well, PHP should work. To make working with PHP more convenient, put the PHP directory on the path. Click on Start and just type env, or simply use the search box on the toolbar. The System Properties dialog will appear. Click the Environment Variables and select Path from the System Variables block. Add the new PHP folder to the list. Now let's do a test with PHP's built-in web server as well. Create an index.php file in the planned document directory. Our code is just a simple PHP info call. Now open a command prompt from the current directory. Start the built-in web server with the command php-s and localhost as domain and use port 8000. After the server starts successfully, visit the localhost /8000 address in the browser. We should get a nice PHP info page. Now PHP is running but not yet configured properly. Configuring PHP 8 at the base level is no different from older versions. You need to set the location of the extensions and select which ones you want to use. It is also a good idea to set the location where PHP should save the session data. After saving the changes, restart the web server. After reloading the info page, you can see that the appropriate modules have been loaded. Even if PHP has a built-in web server, production systems use Apache, Nix, Lightspeed, and so on. For a Windows development environment, Apache is the easiest choice. You can download the latest Apache web server from the Apache Lounge website. Download the 32 or 64-bit version, depending on your OS type. As I mentioned before, I don't like everything in the C root. So I also create a directory for Apache in the Program Files folder. Don't forget to allow permissions for the users. Now you can copy the content of the Apache 24 folder of the zip file to the new location. Pay attention to the exact directory structure. As with PHP, you can add Apache to the path, but in this case, you need to add the bin folder. Now configure our Apache web server. The configuration files are located in the conf directory. The main configuration file is the httpd.conf. To start the web server, you need to set the server root parameter to the correct location. It is a good idea to set the server name explicitly to prevent problems during startup. As we will use virtual hosts later, you can simply set it to localhost :80. An optional step, but usually required by most PHP applications, to enable Apache modules. For example, the mod rewrite module is disabled by default, but almost always required. Just uncomment the line and you are done. To install Apache as a Windows service, you have to open a command prompt as an administrator. Execute the command httpd-k install to install as a service. Allow firewall changes. If no error occurred, then you can start Apache with the command httpd-k start. Navigate to localhost in your browser to test the installation. At this time, no port is required. You should see a message, "It works." The default document location is the htdocs folder in the installation directory. However, this is not optimal. If you are a developer, you probably work on multiple web projects. So it would be nice to have a dedicated folder and URL for each project. For example, if site1.com and site2.com are the production sites, then you probably want a site1.local and site2.local URLs with a dedicated target folder for your development. Virtual hosts are the solution to this problem. Again, it is a good idea to store your code separated from drive C. So create a directory structure for the example projects. Create a simple index.php file in each directory. Now you have to configure virtual hosts and enable it. First, open the main config file and uncomment the line that includes the virtual host configuration. Then, open the virtual hosts config file that is in the extra folder. Add one entry for each project you want. The server name, document root, and error log are the important parameters. You can skip the others. Besides this, you have to allow access to these folders. Add a common directory block before the virtual host's entries. You need to extend the Windows hosts file to resolve your test domains. The hosts file is located in Windows. System32. Drivers. etc. Open the file for editing with administration privileges. Add the server names used before to the file pointing to the local 127.0.0.1 IP address. The setup is almost done, but we have not configured PHP and Apache to work together. First, we have to add the PHP extension to the known MIME types. To do this, add a new entry at the end of the mime.types configuration file. Now switch back to the main configuration file. To execute the index.php automatically if a directory is requested, extend the directory index property with index.php. After that, the most important step is to load the PHP module. To do this, specify the PHP installed directory and the appropriate module in the httpd.conf file. You have to define the PHP initdir parameter and load PHP module. Insert the lines at the end of the file. Now you can restart Apache and check for any error. If everything is fine, then you can visit site1.local and site2.local. That's it for a basic setup. Thank you for watching.